All right, I'll go ahead and get started now. My name is Anthony Jasper. I'm an advisor here at the Education USA Advising Center in Belgium. This center is a part of the Education USA Network, which is a US Department of State network of over 430 international student advising centers in more than 175 countries around the world. This network helps to promote US higher education to students around the world by offering accurate, comprehensive, and current info about opportunities to study at accredited higher education institutions across the United States. Today, I'm joined by Dennis Mertens, who graduated from Ohio State University in 2007, where he played tennis for 4 years. Later, he went on to obtain a master's in management from the University of Antwerp here in Belgium in 2008. And he co-founded OverBoarder in October 2007 with his colleague, Benoit Matefal. I'll let him talk more about OverBoarder and that organization himself. But he's an expert on sports scholarships and how we can help students achieve their goals this way. So with that, I'll give the word over to you, Dennis. Thank you so much for taking your time to speak with us today.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Thanks for the nice introduction and for having me here. Let me pull up the slideshow for you. There we go. Anthony, does it look okay?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah,
right,
that's perfect.
Sounds good. Hello, everybody. So yes, my name is Dennis Mertens. As Anthony said, I played 4 years of college tennis. I had absolutely the best time of my life. And as I was coming back, I was wondering, why are no more people doing this? Because the sports system in America allows you to, make a combination of your sports and your studies, unlike any other place in the world. So that is the reason that we started OverBoarder during my master's studies. Let's see. So this is me. I've already been introduced. This is my associate. The most important thing to understand about, to remember about him is that he works at our head office, which is located in Brooklyn, New York, together with 2 of our associates who are supporting our services. Now, more important, why go to the USA? At first, the combination. The combination that you guys are making right now in high school between competitive sports and studies will not always be easy. You can imagine when you continue on your studies and you go onwards towards university degree and you want to combine that with competitive sports, it's going to get way more difficult. In the US, however, this combination is not hard at all. Why? Is because you will go to school in the morning, you have practice in the afternoon, and around 5 or 6, you are done with all your mandatory work, and then you can either go have fun or do your schoolwork, which for me was a huge relief from the combination that I was making in my last years of high school. When I would come home from practice at 9 p.m., 9:30, I still had to, study, eat, and it was getting very late, and I didn't really have anything else besides study and playing tennis. So that's why that combination in the US, even though I played double the amount of time, I practiced 20 hours per week in America, which by the way, you don't need to do at every single school. I went to Ohio State University. They are very serious about their sports, so naturally we need to practice more than when you go to a lower ranked university in terms of sports. Because sports and studies, they are completely separated in terms of rankings. It's not like Harvard has all the best sports programs, but they don't have all the worst sports programs either. So you can completely look separately at them. And we have clients from all different, with all kinds of different profiles. We have amazing students who are, not unbelievable athletes, but they can still play college sports just because they are such good students, and we can get them into very high-ranked academic universities. And then we have the opposite as well. Then we have people who want to do just a year, a gap year where they want to play a lot of sports combined, not one specific sport. So basically what I'm telling you is that right now you're getting a general explanation about college sports in America. Now, if you are interested afterwards, feel free to book an appointment together with yourself and your parents, where we will focus on your needs, because they will be different from every other student that we meet. We will explain you how everything works, but more importantly, we will listen to what you want. For example, let's say you are a field hockey player. Let's say you want to study economics. You want to be on the East Coast and you want to play Division I, then we can filter our database, which includes every single field hockey coach in America. Those are hundreds of coaches. We can filter them, and out of the 400 coaches, we will leave, let's say after those 4 filters that I just mentioned, we will still come up with 120, and then contact those 120 coaches and see which ones are interested. So for every single sport, every coach is included in the database, and that one can be filtered based upon your wishes. Now, going back to why go to the USA. So at first it is the combination. Then for me, the second part is basically the experience of being an athlete and going to a sports crazy country, which is something completely different from what we are used to, almost any other part in the world. The American, culture allows you to really, go further and explore yourself in a sports way, unlike any other place. For example, when I was here, I was studying in high school in Belgium in my last year. And when my friends would ask me, hey, Dennis, you want to come out with us tonight? And when I would tell them, I'm sorry, I have a game, I can't come, I could see them thinking like, my God, man, drop that tennis, why would you still continue doing it? And when my friends would ask that in the US, friends that have nothing to do with sports, they would apologize themselves. When I would respond that I have a game this weekend, they would apologize themselves for even asking me and say, hey, and what time is your game? We're going to come watch you. And it was so liberating for me that everybody was loving the fact that I was serious about my sport, and they respected it so much. And that's really a culture that as an athlete, you can thrive in. The language, for most of you, English will already be, almost as a first language. So I'm not too worried about that. Next up, the steps. So at first, and that is what I've briefly gone over already. So if you are interested after this presentation, feel free to book an appointment. And there we listen and define together what your athletic and academic goals are. Then we will filter the database, contact those coaches that are a good match for you. Then, already we're at number 3 right now. The coaches, we put them in contact with you, and you can see with which coach you have the best connection. Now I'm zooming quickly fast forward, because eventually you're going to make your decision. The decision is always yours, but I am obviously, our team is always there to support you and to give you advice. If you cannot decide between the different offers that you get, I will always be able to decide for you. Next up, number 5, the paperwork. So basically, OverBoarder guides the student through the visa process, housing reservation, and stays in touch during the student's stay in the USA. That is quite an important thing. Why? Is because we don't guide you until you hop on the plane in the fall to leave for the US. No, we guide you until you stop your studies in the USA. Until then, we are always there to help you. Now, first, I'm going to answer now a couple frequently asked questions. Next up, we're going to watch a video that one of our clients, actually 3 clients at the same place, so it was worth for us to make a nice little video of them. It's of a tennis player who filmed himself during the day on campus, and it's very nice to watch and gives you a good visual on what is out there and how it works. Now, quickly, before I go through these questions, just making sure that we can help you with every single sport that is offered in the USA. So just making sure that you know, if your sport is not offered, you can always feel free to ask me through email or call me, anything. But if it's offered in college sports, then our database will include every single coach. Now, first of all, how often per year do I return home? You come home 4 months per year, 1 month during winter, from half December till half January, and 3 months during summer. I found that to be very nice. Why? Is because you always have something to look forward to. So when I was in my last weeks in the US, I couldn't wait to come home to see my friends and family. However, when I was in my last month here, during the 3 months I was home during summer, I couldn't wait to go back home, go back to the US, which also felt like a home, and also felt like home, and be back to my friends and practice and work hard again. Second question, how does a scholarship system work and what are the costs towards us? So every single school has different costs. We always talk in terms of total costs. Total costs are tuition, books, room, board, insurances, and everything surrounding sports. So basically your practice, your conditioning, your sports gear, clothing, everything surrounding what's needed for to practice your sport, and then all your transportation, hotel, restaurant, everything that you do with the team. So every single school has a different cost for that. Then that cost, we subtract the scholarship that we negotiated for you. A scholarship can come from many different parts. There's athletic scholarship, but most of our clients have several different scholarships added up to each other. There's academic scholarship, there's need-based scholarship, international scholarship, all together to make an amount. So let's say the school costs $50,000. Let's say in total you have $35,000 of scholarship. And then you guys know that there's a $15,000 balance left to pay for you. Now, with every single offer that you will get, we will be able to tell you exactly what the total cost would be left to pay for you, all included, so that there can never be any surprises. Next up, third question, will the scholarship be automatically renewed every year? Yes, a coach cannot take away your scholarship, not based on academic athletic performance and not based on injuries or health, or health issues. So basically a coach, has to stick with the decision that he made. Now, the only way for him to be able to take away your scholarship is based upon, well, if your grades are really horrible, but really that means that you do not do anything for school and that you get D's on every single test, which is obviously not the reason why you go to America. Or if you get expelled from the school, anything drastically, then they're able to take away that scholarship. If not, then they have to honor it every year again. However, they can increase the scholarship. So it cannot go down, but it can go up. It can go up if you do well and you work hard. Then that's America. Then you get rewarded and you get a scholarship raise. So most of our clients have a higher scholarship their third and fourth year as compared to their first year. Am I obligated to go for 4 years? No. After 1 year, you make up your balance. And if, let's say, you've been very homesick and you never want to leave your parents' home country again, then you're free to continue on with your studies at home. But if school is going well, sports are going well, and you have the time of your life, then I think it's quite logical that you at least finish your bachelor. You can finish your bachelor in 3 years or 4 years. You can continue your master's afterwards, either at home or in the US. And we are quite proud to tell you that more than 90% of our clients will finish their bachelor. So more than 90% of the clients that we help to go to the US will end up completing their bachelor in the US. And that is quite, we're proud of that. Why? Is because a lot of them, more than 20%, will eventually in the beginning say, hey, I want to go for 1 year, as a gap year. And a lot of them end up staying because they're having such a good time. Is my American degree diploma recognized worldwide? Yes, your bachelor that you obtain at an American college or university, we will make sure that we are only contacting certified colleges and universities for you, so that the degree that you get is accredited and will be recognized worldwide. However, if you want to study, for example, law school, then you need to complete the rest of the law degree in your home country, because most likely it's going to be quite different from the law system in the United States. And then if you want to study, if you want to go to medical school, then you need to complete your entire degree, including your master's studies. So including your doctoral master's studies, and then your diploma is transferred to wherever you want to practice medicine. But for a medical degree, you cannot, after your bachelor, come home and think you can continue right away into your master. It doesn't work that way. So for every other degree besides law school and medical school, you can continue with your master's after the bachelor that you obtained in the US. What does a typical day on campus looks like? So that's why I have a video for you guys that I'm going to show after I completed the next 5 questions that you will see. So most likely it will depend on the sport and the college, etc. Most likely you're going to go to school in the morning until 12 or 1, then you're going to go to practice, and then around 5, 6, you are usually done with everything. You can still study, of course, and do anything you want. Do I live on or off campus? All of our clients, we recommend to, at least the first year to study on campus, so everything is in walking distance. That seems quite logical, I think. Are you well received on your first arrival in the US? So that is why the college sport system is so nice. So you basically, the way you have to look at it is from the moment that you are that you're at the airport in the US, the coaches come pick you up, then they take you to the welcome dinner together with the rest of your future teammates. Your reservation for your room is taken care of together with the new teammate that has also just arrived. The next morning, the team captains come pick you up from the airport. You pick out your practice gear. You start fitting your practice gear. You visit the campus, and you're immediately part of something. And that is why it is such a nice way to arrive, because immediately you are well connected with everybody, and it's not like you will know the coaches and the players very well, but you have been on the team WhatsApp group for the last 6 months. You have had a lot of contact with the coaches, and it's almost as if you kind of know them a little bit. And then when you arrive, they take good care of you and make sure that you feel right away at home. When is ideal to start the process? This depends a lot on the sport. So if you're in your last year right now, so if you're graduating, for example, June 2022, then either we have to go very fast, or we would recommend maybe to start in January or in August of 2023, but that all depends on your sport. So let me know, and I will let you know what is possible. Any other grade before that, also, the sooner you can start, the better. Why? Is because the sooner we can contact the coaches, the more coaches still have scholarship available. So, for example, if you are in your 11th grade right now, and so you're looking to graduate June 2023, Let's say, you contact us next week, you start the process next month, and let's say around June, we send out your profile to the coaches. At that moment, if you are, for example, a volleyball player, at that moment, 80% of the coaches still has scholarship available for fall 2023. However, if you start the process later and we can send out your profile, let's say in February of 2023 to leave in fall 2023, then not 80%, but more like 30 or 25% of the schools still have scholarship available. So you're losing out on a lot of options that might have been very interesting for you. What are the costs towards OverBoarder? So we work with two different payment times. The first cost is 995 euros. This is to be paid at the start of the process. So after you have had your so you've had your informative appointment together with your parents, and then let's say a couple of days, weeks afterwards, you say, okay, let's start the process. Then the 995 euros is due. This fee is not refundable. Why? Is because if you were to tell us summer 2023, a month before departure, like, hey, Dennis, I decided I don't want to go, then we have put in our time and effort, and that is why this is not refundable. The second step is 1,995 euros, and that is to be paid when everything is done. So you've signed your scholarship, student visa is taken care of, you're ready to go. So that is most likely summer, in this case, if you are in 11th grade, summer 2023. And included is your follow-up in America. So whenever you or your parents have a question with regard to insurance, or maybe you've gotten so good that after a year, we can do a scholarship renegotiation for you. Or maybe after 2 years, you've gotten, to the best player of your team, so that, you want to transfer to an even better school where you move back down the list so you can work your way up again, then we will take care of that entire transfer system for you, and you will never have to pay us an additional fee for it. So now I will move on to the video. So it's of a French player that we helped.
Good morning, guys. My name is Stefan, and today I'm gonna show you how a regular day looks for me as a Mississippi State student athlete. Usually it starts with breakfast together with my teammates. So let's head into the cafeteria. Here we are in Perry Cafeteria, the place where we have breakfast every day. So let's go eat. Now that I'm done with my breakfast, I'm gonna head to have class. The walk through campus is really beautiful. I really enjoy it every morning. And my favorite part is the drill field. The students here are really friendly. They say hi to each other even if they don't know each other. I really like walking on my way to classes there. So here we are at the Swan building. Here I have my first English class. It started at 8 o'clock. I had to do an essay for today, so it was a lot of hard work, but the good part is that it was the last one for this semester, so I'm happy that I'm done for this, and hopefully it's gonna be good. So let's go. So here's what we do after classes. 2 or 3 times a week we have individuals. Obviously everyone likes to play outside, but today is a little bit cold, so we're gonna go inside and play indoors. So let's go in.
Let's get it started in here. Follow your intuition, free your inner soul and break away from tradition. Cause when we be out, girl is pulling me out. You wouldn't believe how we wow. burn it till it's burned out, turn it till it's turned out. Act up from northwest, east side. Everybody, let's get into it. Get started.
Now that I'm done with my individual, morning is done, so let's go have lunch at the Union. Hey guys, this is the Union. We come here to eat from time to time. They have some really good restaurants, so follow me. That's what I'm talking about now. So every afternoon we have team practice, followed by physical conditioning. Today we're gonna lift weights with Coach Parsons in the gym, and after that we're gonna play the girls soccer team. Hopefully we're gonna win, so let's go play some tennis. Alright, let's go.
I don't play baseball, but I've hit a home run everywhere, everywhere. I've been in countries and cities, cause I rap with the best to show. 305 to the death of me.
Oh
yeah! Let the ocean have what's left of me. But for now, forget about that. Blow the whistle, baby, you the referee.
Today is the last day of training in the fall. We're gonna play for fun the girls soccer team. So good luck, girls. You're gonna need that against our strong team. So let's go. Let's go!
Right now, this is the most important match of our life.
Alright guys, so here we are in the Hall of Fame of the Templeton Athletic Building. This is the place where we come to eat dinner and lunch sometimes. The food is really good, and usually after dinner we go straight into the study hall and get some studying done for the next day. Here we are after a long day of training. It's been a lot of hard work today, but I still have to do some homework for tomorrow, so let's get it done till it's not too late. Right guys, it was a really good day of practice today. I really enjoyed playing with you and with Louis. I think it was good for us. It was a good fitness also, so I think now we have to get some rest.
Yeah, just get some sleep, eh? All right. So, all right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that video. I think it is now a good time. Hi, Anthony. I see you're back.
Yes.
I think it's a good time to go over the questions.
Yeah, we had a question come in that I think is a good one to consider. Laura Donna asks, the amount of work and sports seems to be a lot since we are obligated to do sports and continue studying for our degree in order to maintain the scholarship. How do you see students maintaining a healthy work-life balance, or what advice would you give to a student who might be nervous about how much work it's going to be while they're there?
Okay, very, very good question, because I actually haven't cleared that up. So it totally depends on what you want. So you can choose between, going to a Division I school and practicing 20 hours per week, like, the kids that you just saw in the video. But you can also choose to go to a lower ranked division school and, have a real good, work-life student, balance, sports balance, where actually, it's more about practicing 3 times per week, playing a game, and it's completely up to you to tell us what you want, what you are interested in, because the higher, the higher ranked the schools are in terms of sports, obviously the more demanding it's going to be in terms of making that balance. It's going to be way tougher, like it was for me, but still I found that I had more free time every day. I was done at 5 or 6 with all my school and my sports work. And, I had free time. Whereas when I was in high school, I would come home at 9 and I still had to, eat, study, etc. So for me, it was even though I went to a top level sports university that demanded a lot, I still had more free time because of the combination. And you can stop going to school at 12 and still obtain your bachelor's diploma in 4 years. If you want to obtain your diploma in 3 years, then you go more like 20 hours of study a week, of classes per week, and where usually you can have an evening class as well, but that is also totally up to you.
Yeah, thanks for that answer, Dennis. I'll add, as my American perspective, not having studied there with a sports scholarship, but just something that I've seen, is that I think for an international student, it's a bit hard to recognize how significantly different a life on campus is from a life from school here in Belgium, for example, where on campus you have everything extremely close. So the amount of time you're taking to go from class to the gym to seeing your friends is usually a lot smaller than within a broader city. That kind of depends on where you're studying, but because you have this campus life built around you as well, it's easier to find time to balance the work with more relaxed times because everything's closer. The people that you're usually around all the time are also in this environment where people kind of understand that hours are flexible, classes are at different times for different people. And the rest you get is also kind of built in, I'd say. I don't know if you agree with that, but that's kind of just how I saw it for students as well.
Very glad you added that, because indeed, the time that we lose out here with driving to school, then driving to practice, driving to the physio, there it's all in one place. Exactly. Very good that you added that.
Yeah. We had one more question come in from Natalie. Thank you for that, Natalie. She's wondering, what are the academic and sport levels that are expected in order to be able to qualify for these sorts of programs or scholarships?
That is completely dependent on what sport you are. Okay, so Natalie, as it's going to be a little bit easier being that you are a woman, because with most, there are more athletic scholarships for women than for men. So usually for you, the cost left to pay for yourself will be smaller than if you're a male athlete. But if I don't know your sport, your level, then that is impossible to answer, unfortunately. But feel free to contact me. Send me an email at dennis@overboarder.com. I think, Anthony, you will leave my details as well.
Yeah.
And then I can quickly explain you what the possibilities are.
Mm-hmm. I had a few questions myself for you, actually, just considering the kinds of students that we see and the questions that we get from our side of Education USA. But what age would you say a student has to be in order to be considered for these kinds of scholarships? Because we see now that it's becoming more and more common for people to want some time after high school before immediately starting university. So is there like an age limit? Is there an age that's too early to try, too late to try, or what have you seen in your experience?
Very good. There is in fact no age limit, but you need to have obtained your high school diploma. So some people have been able to skip a year, or some people double the year in high school. So the age doesn't matter. So from the time that you graduate, that's when you can start applying for those sports scholarships. And it's exactly like you say, we have clients that are going for a gap year, you know, that want to enjoy that 1 year with sports and studies. And then we have other clients that are determined to stay for 4 years and get the most out of their bachelor's degree together with high level sports. But both are very possible, of course.
Yeah, great. What would you say to a student who says they really want to play Division 1, but maybe doesn't quite have the skill level to reach that high? What would you tell that student?
I'm very happy that you asked this question, because that's why we have this appointment together with the parents, you know, because it's very possible that you know, someone might tell me, hey Dennis, you know, I want to play Division 1, and then I have to tell them if it's possible or not, you know, depending on the level. And maybe I have to tell them, okay, it's possible, but you will not be able to get a big scholarship yet. So your own contribution will be higher in first division than it would be in second division or in NAIA. So, you know, there's three different sports federations, different divisions, and we will tell you where you would fit in. And that comes with a certain cost, and that cost might be higher in Division 1 than in Division 2, very much depending on your profile.
Would you say that the skill level you need between Division 1 and Division 2 is like significant, or would someone who plays Division 2 experience kind of a similar experience as a Division 1 player?
The level in Division 2 has gotten up, you know, it's quite different from even when I was there, and that was now 18 years ago. Right now, the level in Division 2 has gotten really good, and you are with all your sports in the same division. So you cannot look at it from a perspective like we do out here in Europe, where you know, for example, in soccer, you know, the winner of the second division at the end of the league competition goes up to first division, and the last one from the second division goes down to third division. That's not how it works in the US. So one team, for example, the soccer team might be national champion in Division 2 for the last 10 years. Well, guess what? They're still going to be in Division 2, and they're going to be a lot better than, let's say, the 100 last schools in Division 1, because for example, men's soccer, there are, I think, about 250 schools in Division 1. Well, certain Division 2 schools are going to be a lot stronger. What we will do is we will not look at Division 1, Division 2. We will just analyze the schools ourselves and see in which ones you would have the best fit, promote you to as many schools as possible that fit within your wishes, so that you have as many options to choose from as possible.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. Another question came in while you were speaking. They asked, let's say I'm a student that is a high academic achiever and they want to go to a school that reflects that kind of academic excellence, but they're not necessarily as good at sports as they are academically. What advice would you give to that student?
Division 3. Division 3 is ideal. The academic level in Division 3 is on average the strongest out of all divisions and all federations in the US. So in Division 3, you have fantastic schools. For example, MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, is a Division 3 school. There, the level required, the sports level required will not be as high as it would be in Division 1 or Division 2 or in NAIA. So Division 3 would be ideal for you, and we would promote you within that network that we have.
Excellent, yeah. Another question from Natalie. She asks, does the amount of the scholarship depend on the level of the division?
Does the amount of scholarship depends on your sports level that coaches will analyze. If you do a team sport, then most likely we will need a highlight video from you, from your best actions during the last games, etc. And that will depend on your sports level. Then on your academic level, most of our clients have an academic scholarship on top of your sports scholarship. And then, there's other scholarship, need-based scholarship, international scholarship that can all be added onto your total pile of scholarships that will form the budget that you get from the school. So, depending on your level, depending on the sport that you play, we will, promote you to the schools that would be a good fit and try to get you as much scholarship as possible.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned the need to maybe send in highlight reels or something, because a question also just came in from Nicola. She says, how do I improve my athletic level? Are there videos? What other ways would you tell a student that they need a proof of their level?
How they can prove their athletic.
Yeah, how they can prove their athletic level. Yeah.
So that's obviously what we are there for, to inform you how to do that. So if you are, the hardest part to prove your athletic level is if you are in a team sport, because we will need a highlight video from you. Then we'd also like to have a full game video of you, where you want to show, not only that you played well, but where the overall level of that game was good. So for a full game, I much rather have you losing to the number one in the competition, but played very well, than winning easily from the last ones in the competition. Because, coaches in America will also be able to analyze that, their defense was not so good. So, that is one important aspect. And then the second one is that we will explain the American coaches what your level is out here in Europe, compare it with a bunch of other clients. So we have helped now 1,600 student athletes go to America, and we will be able to compare your level with previous players that we've had, so coaches can relate to it, and will be able to make a decision whether or not they want to recruit you or not.
Do you at OverBoarder help make these videos, or is it kind of like common practice that people kind of already know that this is needed for students who might want to go?
It depends. Well, when we started, we would help them. But knowing now that, eventually people, especially the generation that we are talking about, they know how to cut, and edit the best pieces out of one video. We can still get somebody to do it for you. But more important, because some people think that they need to have special effects, etc. That's not what it's about. It's really about picking the right clips. So you have a clip of 11 seconds, 15 seconds, 12 seconds, and you just put them together. And the most important thing is that you try to collect as many video material as possible. So the more material you have, the more selective you can be in which ones you choose. So quality-wise, the better your video will be.
Yeah, that's great advice. Natalie wanted to clarify her question from earlier, that she's joining now for her nephew who plays rugby. Is that one of the sports that would work for such scholarships, or less so in the US?
Rugby, not so much at the scholarship level. It's more at the club level there, but we can also help you with. There's not many at the scholarship level, so this will also depend on the budget that you will have. But it depends. If he wants a gap year and play at the club level in America while studying in college, we can definitely take care of that. But don't count on big scholarships, unfortunately.
Yeah, thanks for that. Another question from Laura Donna. She asks, will there be someone from the organization at the college or in the States who will be able to, the students can turn to or rely on for support if something happens during their scholarship?
Very good question. So it's funny because we tell people and we tell them over and over again, look, if when at any point during your stay in the US, whenever you're in doubt of something, whenever you need us, contact us. I mean, it's not like there's any additional cost for it, so why not use us? And we've gone through the process together, so we know each other very well. And still, it surprises me every day that we don't get a lot of questions. Why? Is because when you are in the US and when you have an issue, at first you will have your coaches. They're full-time coaches and they are there to help you. Then you have your team captains. Then you have your academic advisor. Then you have your friends in your team. And usually when we get a question, it's either in terms of a question in terms of insurance or for scholarship renegotiation, or if they want to go to another school. If they want to go to an even better school because they improved their own level so much, and then we'll take care of their transfer. For us, it's impossible. We've placed students now at 800 different schools, so it's kind of impossible to have someone everywhere. But you will find out that there is no need for that. There's plenty of people that you can rely on during your stay in the US, and if you still need us, we are always there to help out.
Yeah, definitely. There's always a big support network at US institutions, I think, for students, especially for the athletic students who have their fellow colleagues and their coaches and the whole kind of sports network around them. So I think it's safe to say that they will definitely be supported there. And you are also there for any other questions they might have, which is great, even if you're all the way here in Belgium. Feel free to ask any more questions you have in the Q&A. I have one more question for you, Dennis. Let's say that there's a student who's really good athletically, but maybe comes from a background where they couldn't afford the kinds of fees that they would pay you for your service. What kind of advice would you give them if they're looking for sports scholarships or really wants to attend a school in the US, but couldn't do so through you?
Well, if they can't afford the fee towards us, but they still want to make their dream come true, then they need to have the athletic level where they can get a full scholarship. Because otherwise, I mean, the fee towards us is a small percentage. It's in a lot of the cases, it's like 2 or 3% as opposed to the rest of the fee that you have to pay. So I would advise that, feel free to ask us. We will be able to tell you, okay, you are a full scholarship athlete or not. If you're a full scholarship athlete, then we can still put you in touch with some people and help you like that. Or you can look online and see what coaches might be a good fit for you. Maybe you can ask some former teammates or people from your club where they went, contact that same coach, and try to talk to your network and see if there's someone that can help you.
Great. Yeah, thank you for that, Dennis. It's great that you're willing to support students who also might need additional supports in that way as well. At this time, I don't see any other questions in the Q&A. I think we already went through a lot of really important topics when it comes to sports scholarships. As I say that, 2 more pop in, so we still have some time to tackle those. Laura Donna says, considering the ongoing pandemic, how did your organization support its students in terms of housing, the change in their abilities to play sports, for example, or visa issues? Did you see a big change with the pandemic?
It's fair to say that we've had a tremendous amount of work not related to promoting our athletes compared to other years. People actually, let's say, we started 15 years ago. After a good 5 years, we always get the same questions over and over again, and with every question that parents or students have, we have the answer right away. And all of a sudden during the pandemic, people were asking me questions and I was like, I really have no idea, we're gonna have to wait and see. Luckily, back during the Trump time, he gave him an exemption on the travel ban for students. So luckily they were all still able to go, and I can compare very well the situation that was out here, I mean, for me then in Western Europe, compared to the situation at the colleges in the US. And the lockdowns here were a lot more severe in the US. It's more widespread, the colleges. So it wasn't, as bad as it was over here in terms of just living experience. But yeah, we have always been updating them nonstop on the rules and regulations on what is possible, what is not possible. But eventually, I think right now, in all the schools, there is a hybrid system as well in case the COVID cases go up again. The hybrid system being online classes and in-person classes, that they can quickly switch and get a couple more online classes for you even during the semester. So they are very flexible with that. But the way it is looking right now in the colleges, like it was already quite okay back when, when it was very bad. Only in California they are more severe with the rules and regulations as opposed to in the rest of the US. But other than California, it's for the moment it's going quite well.
Kind of related to that then, did you have any students who caught COVID or some other disease or injury who then couldn't play anymore, and what happened in those situations with those students?
You mean that they got COVID, they couldn't play for the team for those 10 days, you mean?
Or maybe people who have long COVID or some, what happens to a student who suddenly couldn't play anymore because of the disease, whether it's COVID or something else? I suppose they keep their scholarship and...
Yeah, you keep your scholarship. So even if you get a very bad car accident and you break your legs on, sorry to say, but holding wood in different places, then you are still going to keep your scholarship because you are secured for that, and the coach will get his scholarship back, and your scholarship will come from an emergency fund. So you are really safe to keep your scholarship until your bachelor degree is completed if you run into something like this. I mean, we've had it maybe 2 or 3 times during our career that somebody was so badly injured or very sick or something like that. And then it's always up to the student to decide whether he wants to continue his stay in US or whether he wants to go home. Yeah, being out with COVID or any other disease is just like being out with an injury. It's part of sports, and you go to the physio and try to get back as soon as possible.
Yeah, definitely. One final question from Nikolai again. What would you tell a student who only has videos from games where they play poorly? Would they be able to use training videos or other similar videos, or would you just recommend they re-record something at other games?
Yeah, definitely. You try to get as much as possible, and then you analyze. If you say, hey, they recorded 3 of my games, and in the 3 of the games I played in total maybe 20 minutes and I barely touched the ball or whatever sport you play, then it's probably not going to be ideal, and you want to get a good practice video where you film together, you play together with a friend, and you kind of stage it all so that it's a very intensive good practice video. And then after you collect the material, then you're going to see which clips are best from that 1 hour or 1 hour and a half video, and take it from there. If there are still new games that you will be able to play, well, try to film them, because coaches most likely are going to want to see also how you perform on a real game as well.
Yeah, perfect. All right. With that, I think we've run out of time. There's no more questions. I want to say thank you very much, Dennis, for this really interesting presentation. It's really great to see you're helping all of these students achieve their American dream with studies in the US. Just for everyone's information here, we will be recording this. Well, we have been recording this, and we'll post it on our YouTube channel later, so you can come back to it if you want to go back to Dennis's great advice and share it with your friends who might also be interested in getting a sports scholarship. But thank you once again, Dennis, for that, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Anthony, for hosting. Thanks, everybody, for watching. If there are any questions, contact me, dennis@overboarder.com. Anthony can also share my cell phone number. Feel free to contact for anything, and I am there to help.
Perfect. Thanks, Dennis. Have a nice day, everyone. Bye-bye.